Okay, so for the back of this worksheet, I really don't want you just to copy down what I say. Okay, I want you to think about number 3 when I read it right now, and I want you to write down something in your own words about the argument. So let's look at what it's asking. Jalissa and Miles wrote different arguments for the proof below. Here's what they were both given. So CD, let's go do some markings on here, bisects BA. So if CD bisects BA, then we know that that bisector cuts this in half. So like this is now going to be congruent to this. Angle CDB is congruent to angle CDA. So let's look at Jalissa's argument. Jalissa's argument says, I know that CD bisects BA because that was given. I also know this because that was given. Well, then they both have to be right angles because they are given to be congruent and they're a linear pair. This is absolutely true. It must be true then. It follows that CD is perpendicular to BA because if they're both 90 degrees, then they are perpendicular by definition of perpendicular. So this is true. All of this implies that CD is a perpendicular bisector of BA because we just proved it's perpendicular. Therefore, BC is congruent to AC because I know from task 5.2 that the points of the perpendicular bisector of a segment are equidistant. So this is something that was proved in an earlier task. So guess what? Her proof is all correct. Secondly, Miles' argument is that CD bisects BA given, CDB congruent to CDA given, and then they see that reflexive side. So notice that pink side in the middle, that's our reflexive side. He then knows that by definition of bisect, that we can make those two little sides equal. So this straight up comes from this given. And now I have 3 pieces of congruent information, so I can state that the triangles are congruent. And so therefore I can say that all parts are congruent. Congruent triangles have congruent parts. So this entire proof is done as a diagram or flowchart proof, and all of the statements are correct. So now you're going to go put into your own words something about the bottom. Critique each proof. Which one sounds like something more like you, like it made sense to you or you would write? Did you like the format better of one versus the other? Did you like the line of thinking better in one versus the other? You are critiquing it and you're explaining your thoughts. I'd like you to do 2 to 3 sentences in this critique, if possible, of your own words. But in general, all the statements in both were correct. So you're just critiquing them on which one were you able to follow more closely. Did both make sense to you? Did one of them make more sense than the other, etc.? It's just a critique. They are both correct. Does that make sense? Let's talk tomorrow in class about what you put down as a response for this so we can actually talk about right versus wrong answers. But there's a whole variation of correct work for this because this is just your own thoughts, your own critique. Let me know if you have any questions tomorrow in class, okay? Good luck.